CMS. You've heard this term 100 times, but what does it really mean? How do you really use it? And what is Headless CMS? You are about to find out. Hey, I'm Aliena. If you're into design, tech, and business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. CMS stands for Content Management System. It is a tool that lets you create, edit, and publish website content without writing code. You don't need to memorize this definition because it's a bit outdated. Most designers would just call this a website builder today. And in fact, when we talk about CMS now, we usually mean something more specific than this original definition. To understand this, here's a little bit of history you should not skip. When websites were first created, everything was hard-coded. If you wanted to change even one word, you had to open an HTML file and manually edit that file. This was very difficult for non-technical people like me. That is why early CMS tools were invented to separate content from code and make updates easier. These tools were lifesavers because they allowed anyone to design and launch a website visually, but there was still a limitation. In these tools, content and design were tied together. This works well for simple sites like landing pages. But what if you have over 100 blog posts for an e-commerce site with over 100 products? If you want to change the layout, you'd have to update everything page by page. This is where Headless CMS comes in. A headless CMS is a content management system without a built-in front end. It stores content only, and the content is separated from the design. All content can be text, images, and videos. Headless CMS treats content as data and delivers it to websites, apps, emails, and more. This gives Content Manager a dedicated place to update content and allows designers to work independently. This also means that designers don't have to wake up in the middle of the night just because someone decided to change the price of one product from $10 to $9.99. And for companies, Headless CMS became especially powerful for them to scale. Today, when we talk about CMS, we usually mean this kind of headless content management system, which is built directly into website builders like Wix Studio. Here are some examples of websites that are great for using a headless CMS. E-commerce websites with a large number of products. Content-heavy sites like blogs and news. Documentation and help centers such as FAQ pages, and mid to large-scale websites with hundreds of pages or campaign pages where marketers need to update content without relying on developers or designers. On the other hand, here are some sites where using a headless CMS is probably overkill. If you're creating a simple one-page website, a personal portfolio where each case study has a different layout, or a website that just almost never changes. Now that you know what Headless CMS is and when to use it, let's move into some hands-on practice. You're about to go through 4 activities, and trust me, you don't want to skip this part. Knowledge doesn't stick unless you actually put it into practice. And this is also very fun. We're going to use Wix Studio for today's exercises. Wix Studio is a website building platform designed for designers, developers, and marketers. I chose Wix Studio because it has a really powerful headless CMS feature. I also want to thank Wix Studio for sponsoring this video and make it possible for you to watch it for free. The link to Wix Studio is in the description. Click it and let's get started. I also put everything you need for these exercises into a free PDF in the description, so download it. When you are in Wix Studio, click Create New Site and choose Studio Template. Then type Travel and select this travel agency template. Click Edit to start this activity. Here is a challenge for you. Go through the homepage of this website and analyze which parts of the content are connected to a CMS collection and which parts are not. Pause the video and give it a try. Here is a trick. If you can directly edit the content on the page, then that content is not connected to any CMS collection. For example, in this card here, you can click multiple times to select the title and edit the text directly on this page, which means this is not connected to a CMS collection. But if you scroll down and click on this card, you'll notice that no matter how many times you click, you cannot edit the text directly. Instead, you will see a blue icon that says Connected to CMS. That means this content is connected to a CMS collection. So here's the correct answer. On this page, only the Export Destinations section and the Testimonials section are connected to CMS collections. Did you get it right? Let us not stop here. I have another challenge for you. On the left side, you will see an icon that looks like a spreadsheet. This opens the CMS collections, where all CMS-connected content is managed. Now, edit the content through the CMS to add your hometown as one of the travel destinations displayed on the homepage. And also add one testimonial written by you and display it on the homepage. Pause the video and give it a try. Here's how I do it. First, click the spreadsheet icon on the left to open the CMS panel. There are two ways to access the existing CMS collections. One is through your collections over here, and the other is by clicking Manage Content here. Once you click it, you will see all existing collections for this site. To add my hometown as a destination, I will open the Destinations collection. You can edit it just like a spreadsheet. Add a new line and fill in the fields with your hometown information. Take your time here. Now let's go back to the page. You might not see your hometown showing up yet, and that is usually because of the repeaters dataset sorting. A repeater is a layout component that displays the same design structure multiple times using data from a CMS collection. In this repeater, the Explore Destination card is the item being repeated, and the content inside each repeated card comes from the destination collections in the CMS. Let's select the repeater. To make sure you select the correct element, I highly recommend opening the Layers panel and selecting the repeater from here. On the right side, you'll see the link icon that says CMS Collections when you hover over it. Click it. Here, you can see the repeater is connected to the Destinations collection. And right now, the content is sorted by created date from old to new. That is why your hometown is not here yet. Let us change the sorting method by clicking Dataset Settings. Go to Sort, and make it new to old. Ta-da! And now you will see your hometown. If you haven't tried the second part of this challenge yet, go ahead and do it now. This part is about adding another testimonial with your name and displaying it on the homepage. Here's how I do it. The steps are the same as before. First, open the CMS panel and go to Collections. This time, select the Testimonials collection. Add a new item with your name, a date, and a testimonial. Now close this window and return to the design. Ta-da! You should see your name showing up now. To take it one step further, let's make sure the testimonial section only shows 4 cards, so you don't end up with an awkward 5th card wrapping onto a second row. Open the Layers panel and select the correct layer, which is the repeater. Then go to right side Dataset Settings and change items per load to 4. You immediately see only 4 cards displayed. Congrats on finishing the first challenge. Now you're onto the second one. Let us create a new site for the next challenge. But this time, we'll use the Studio blank canvas. In the CMS panel, there's an option to add a preset. Your challenge is to use the team preset to create 2 dynamic pages. One list page that displays all team members, and one item page that shows the details for each individual team member. And after that, replace the first team member's information with your own. Pause the video and give it a try. Here's how I do it. First, open the CMS panel and click Start with a preset. When you see a CMS preset, you're using a pre-made CMS collection that comes with dynamic pages. A dynamic page is a page that's generated from CMS data. You will see it soon. And for now, let us select Team Preset and click Add to Site. This will create the Team CMS collection for you. Now you just need to go to the first item and replace it with your name, email, job title, description, and photo. Once you're done, close the CMS window and you should see your information appear in the first card on the page. If you open the Pages panel, you will see 2 dynamic pages were automatically created through this preset. One is the Team Item page. This page displays details information for each individual team member. Even though you only see one item page here, there is actually one item page created for each row in the CMS collection, all using this same design. Each team member gets their own page with the same layout, but the content changes based on the data in the CMS. And of course, you can change the design over here and it will change the design of all individual members' page. This type of dynamic page is called an item page because it displays detailed information for each item from the CMS collection. There is another type of dynamic page called a list page. You can see it here. A list page displays multiple items from a CMS collection on a single page, usually using a repeater or a similar layout. Each item on the list is clickable and links to its corresponding item page. In this example, this page shows all of the team members. If you click the preview eye icon in the top right, you can test how this works. If you click on another team member's name, it opens that person's page. As a recap, by default, every page in Wix Studio is a static page, meaning it has one fixed layout. Dynamic pages, on the other hand, are generated from CMS data and comes in two types: list pages, which show many items on one page, and item pages, which create one page per CMS item using the same layout. Here is a tricky quiz question for you. True or false? You can only use CMS for dynamic pages. Think about it. The answer is false. Remember the repeater we just used in the last exercise? You can add a repeater to pull CMS items even on a static page. You can also connect text and other elements on a static page directly to content in your CMS. Dynamic pages are just especially useful when you want to create multiple pages for your multiple items from a single design. But CMS is not limited to dynamic pages only. Now you know. You're ready for activity 3. And this one is extra fun and it involves AI. Let's create a new site again using a Studio template. And search for NGO and choose this template to start the challenge. Here is your challenge. Scroll down to the second section of the homepage. See the 4 photos in this Pro gallery? Your challenge is to create a CMS collection using AI, filled with blog posts and articles related to sustainability research. And then use that collection to replace the content in this Pro gallery. Also, create a dynamic item page per article and link each gallery image to its corresponding dynamic page. Pause the video and give it a try. Here is how I do it. First, open the CMS panel again. This time, click Start by adding content, then select Create with AI. I'll name my collection Sustainability Blogs and Articles, and describe it as a series of blogs and articles about sustainability research. Then click Next, and let Wix Studio's AI do its magic. Ta-da! Now we get some suggested fields. Here are the part that I love even more. Keep this toggle on, then click Create Collection. Now Wix Studio's AI will generate the entire collection for you and even add example content. Isn't this amazing? Once this is done, close the CMS panel. Now let's connect this section on the page to the new CMS collection. First, make sure the correct element is selected. In this case, it is the Pro gallery. There are 2 ways to connect an element to CMS. One is using the link icon appears on top of the element. The other is clicking the link icon in the top right panel. Click it, choose Add Dataset. Then select your CMS collection and hit Create. Next, let's map the fields. Set the image source to cover image, the title to title, and the description to author. At this point, you'll notice the content is connected, but the links are still missing. That is because we haven't created a dynamic item page yet. And this is where things get exciting. Go back to the CMS collection. Click the 3 dot and select Add Dynamic Page. Choose Item Page, then click Add to Site. That's it. You now have a dynamic item page for each article in the collection. Go back to the home page. Select the Pro gallery again. And now you can connect the links to the Sustainability Blogs and Articles item page. We're almost done. I swear, very, very close. If you preview the site now, you'll notice that, you cannot click on the image yet. That is because Pro galleries need an extra setting. Select the Pro gallery, click Settings, and under Click Behavior, change it from Nothing Happens to Link Opens. Now preview this site again. Clicking each image now takes you to its corresponding dynamic page. That's it for activity 3. Pause the video and try it again. You would be so proud of yourself once this is done. Now you're onto the final activity of the day, and this one brings everything together. This time, create a new site using the Studio blank canvas. So you are starting completely from scratch. You can approach this however you like. Here's the challenge. Use CMS to build a FAQ page with some placeholder questions and answers. The final result should look something like this. Pause the video and give it a try. It's okay if it's ugly. Here's how I do it. First, open the CMS panel and start by adding content. You can start from scratch, import a CSV, or use AI. I'm going to use AI again because I didn't prepare real questions and answers. I'll name the collection FAQ and describe it as Frequently Asked Questions and Answers for my book. Then click Next. All I need are the questions and answer fields. So I'll uncheck everything else and create the collection. At this step, if you want to tweak any of the AI-generated questions or answers, you can do that now. Once you're done, close the CMS panel. Now there are two ways to build this page. The first way is creating a dynamic list page, and the second way is creating a static page with a repeater. Let me show you the first way. Go back to CMS Collections. Click the three-dot menu and select Add Dynamic Page. Since we want to display all the questions on one page, choose List Page and click Add to Site. From here, we can adjust the layout to look more like a traditional FAQ page. You'll notice the fields are already connected correctly. Now it's mostly about design. I'll change the display type to a list, so everything stacks vertically. Remove the button because we don't need it, and adjust the height, padding, and spacing. And that's it. You now have a working FAQ page powered by CMS. Here's another way to do it. This time, I will start with a standard static page. Inside a section, I'll add a repeater, which you can find under Layout Elements, and choose a vertical repeater. Then I'll connect this repeater to the CMS collection. Inside the repeater, I'll add two text elements. One connected to the question field, and the other connected to the answer field. And that's basically it. From here on, it's just a visual layout and styling. Now you know both approaches. Give it a try. Final quiz for you. What does CMS stand for? A. Coffee makes sense. B. Content management system. C. Change my salary. And D. Can someone save me? If you choose B, you're good to go. And if you choose anything else, you need therapy. Alright, in this video, you learned what CMS or Headless CMS is, a bit of its history, when to use it, how to use it, and also how to use dynamic pages and repeaters. If this tutorial helped you, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. I'm Aliena, and I make videos about design, tech, and business. I also put everything you need for these exercises into a free PDF in the description, so go download it. And if you like this video, you will also like this video, so I will see you in this video. Subscribe and turn on all notifications. Oof. Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. CMS, CMS, CMS. CMS, this is CMS. Headless. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. We're almost done. We are done.